Hello everybody, welcome to Israel's Church of Living God. I'm Brother Rodney, and Brother Kenneth will be reading today. We'll be doing a lesson today entitled, Idols and Images. All are idolatry before God. Idols and images, all are idolatry before God. Because, you know, we have a lot of so-called churches that have, you know, idol standing statues and stuff like that in their churches. And the Lord had it written in the Bible to don't do this, from the Old Testament even unto the New Testament. He said don't do these things. So we're going to deal with this today. You know, you even got, like I said, these things in churches today, even praying to dead saints. So we're going to deal with this thing today because this is even being practiced in our generation. Let's go now. Let's go to Acts the 17th chapter. Acts the 17th chapter. Because over here in Acts the 17th chapter, Paul was telling this whole city was given over into idolatry. The whole city was. We had Acts 17 and 16. Acts 17 and 16. Go ahead and read it.
Now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry.
See, so the whole city was given over to idolatry. Go ahead, we're going to find out what this idolatry is in a minute. Go ahead and read.
Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him.
See, now you see what Paul doing? He disputing with them. You know, look at what he's going to tell them. Go ahead and read.
Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him. And some said, what will this babbler say? Others some, he seems to be setter forth of a strange God.
See, so because they didn't know nothing about the God of Israel, so they like, you know, he said forth strange gods. Go ahead and read.
Because he preached to them Jesus.
See, he preached unto them Jesus. Go ahead.
And the resurrection. And they took him and brought him unto Areopagus, saying, may we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest is? For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know therefore what these things mean.
Go ahead.
For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear some new thing. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious.
He said, I perceive in all things that you are too superstitious. Go ahead and read.
For as I passed by and beheld your devotion, I found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship.
And that's how men worship today, don't they?
Yes, sir.
They worship in ignorance, don't they?
Come on.
Go ahead and read. They calling on like they call on Jesus and everything, but they're worshiping him in ignorance. And they are worshiping Jesus according and worshiping God according to the thoughts of men. So they're worshiping him in ignorance. Go ahead and read.
To the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you.
Paul said, you know what? I'm going to declare him unto you today. And we're going to declare him unto you. Go ahead and read.
God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. See,
he don't dwell in temples made with man's hand. All these other guys, they dwell in temples made with man's hands. But this guy right here dwells in heaven. Go ahead and read.
25. Neither is worship with men's hands as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things. Now,
let's go to, because we're going to find, let's look up the definition of idolatry real quick. And we're going to Erdman's Bible Dictionary, and we're looking up idolatry.
Idolatry. In the Old Testament, the worship of gods.
The worship of gods. Go ahead.
Other than Yahweh. Especially through images representing them.
Especially through images representing them. And that's what we got, don't we? We still got, I'm going to show you, we still got gods that were worshipped almost 2,000 years ago, we're still worshiping them today. Got images and statues and all this to these gods. Let's go to Exodus 20th chapter, Exodus 20. And we're going to pick it up in verse 1, Exodus 20 and 1. Because God, the God that created the heaven and the earth, this is what he said. This is not what Israel's Church of Living God said or what I'm saying. This is what God said, Exodus 20 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Go ahead and read.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Now look here. This number 2, right? He said, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. Don't make no images. Go ahead and read.
Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath.
Now, wait a minute now. He said, don't make no images of things in heaven above or earth beneath. Well, why do you have men that's got pictures of Jesus then? Which it ain't the right picture, the right image anyway, but still though. That's an idol.
It is, brother.
And an image.
Yes,
but the Lord say don't do this. Because we know that God is in heaven. We know Jesus is in heaven too, along with the angel. Right? But he said don't make no images. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Read that verse 4 again.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth.
See, he covered everywhere, ain't he?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
Now you know people doing these things today. They falling out, worshiping their gods and bowing down to them. You know, you got people bowing down to the Christmas tree. I don't want to talk about nobody, but you know, they're bowing down to that Christmas tree too, ain't they? They go get down, they get them presents, aren't they?
Come on.
Go ahead and read. If people don't understand that Christmas tree, it is an idol.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is, an idol.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read though.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me.
Go ahead.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. So
Lord had written, look, don't make no images of things in heaven or in earth, didn't he? Let's go look at this again. Deuteronomy 4th chapter. Because he had this written all over the book, and people's like, yo, skip that. You know, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Whoa.
Deuteronomy 4, and we're going to pick up at verse 15. I mean, just like it's all right with God. He the one say don't do it. So now you're going to do it anyway and say, oh, it's all right with God. You're fooling yourself then, aren't you? You're fooling yourself. Deuteronomy 4 and 15. Deuteronomy 4 and 15. Go ahead and read. Now, don't get it wrong now, because I'm not trying to talk about it. No, we just read today. We just read Deuteronomy 4 and hope this will convince somebody in their heart to take a look at themselves and say, man, you know what? That's true. That's right. That's coming right out of the Bible. Maybe I should take all these images and statues and stuff out of my house that's saying it's God. Maybe I want to go back to my church and say, well, you know, Pastor, maybe we shouldn't have these images in here because look at what God got written in the Bible. That's right. And we're supposed to be the followers of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So maybe we ought to take another look at this thing. That's what it's for. That's why I'm doing this, to inform people. Deuteronomy 4 and 15. Deuteronomy 4 and 15. Go ahead and read it.
Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves. For ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb, out of the midst of the fire.
See, he said, you didn't see no similitude. You didn't see me when I spoke to you on the mount, in Mount Horeb. Go ahead and read.
Yes, sir. 16. Lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female.
You see that? He said, lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure.
Yes, sir.
The likeness of a male or female. And you know, we got all type of images of males and female gods, don't we? Oh, I mean, you know, hundreds of them, thousands of them. Go ahead and read.
17.
Uh-huh.
The likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air.
Go ahead.
The likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground. The likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth.
Now he said, I don't want you to make no image of nothing or nobody
That's right.
concerning God.
Come on.
You know, creeping things, the fish, I don't want you making it. And then you got a God, we're going to see him today, that, you know, history said, well, you know, we can't find nothing showing that this Dagon, that he's a fish god, but then people set him up as a fish god anyway, though. And they still worshiping him as a fish god. Dagon. But we're going to show you how far this Dagon goes back. We're going to deal with some of these gods that people have set up, and we're going to show you even people are still worshiping some of these gods even today. Go ahead and read, though. What verse you at?
19.
Uh-huh.
Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars.
He said, unless you lift up your eyes, see the sun, the moon, and the stars. Go ahead.
Even all the host of heaven should be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
Because that's what the sun and the moon, the sun is for to give light on the earth by day, and the moon by night, right? And the stars too by night, give light by night. That's all they're for. That's what God created them for, not for us to be worshiping them. He wants us to worship him, not them. Let's go now. Let's go to Leviticus 26. Leviticus 26, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Leviticus 26 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image.
Now we just read it again. He said, you shall make you no idols, nor graven images. Go ahead.
Neither rear you up a standing image.
Now he said, don't rear you up and say, that's those statues that men make, calling them gods. You understand? Go ahead and read.
Neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it. For I am the Lord your God.
So he said, don't make no images, don't make no idols, don't make no these images of stone in your land. And men still do these things today, don't they? Just like God ain't saying, oh, that's the Old Testament. Well, what he said in the Old Testament is meant for the New Testament church too, if you want to call it that. Let's go now. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. I should have told you, hold your hand. Let's go back to Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. Back to Deuteronomy 4. Because the Lord told Israel, you know what? I'm going to remove you into all these nations, and then you're going to serve other gods, wood and stone. You're going to serve other gods. And look at us. That's what we're doing, aren't we? We're serving everybody else's God, aren't we? Wood and stone. Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, and we're going to pick up at verse 23. Deuteronomy 4 and 23, go ahead and read it.
Take heed unto yourselves, lest ye forget the covenant of your Lord your God.
And that's what we have forgotten. Our people have forgotten the covenant of the Lord of our God, haven't we? We have forgotten the covenant. Go ahead and read.
Which he made with you, and make you a graven image, or the likeness of anything which the Lord thy God hath forbidden thee. For the Lord thy God is a consuming fire, even a jealous God.
Go ahead. We read that earlier, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
In Exodus, he says, Lord thy God is a jealous God. He's a consuming God too, ain't he? He will consume you in a minute.
We.
Go ahead and read.
25. When thou shalt beget children and children's children, and ye shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves.
Now, he knew they was going to do this. He knew that they was going. You know, he said, "I'll give you my laws and my commandments." Oh, that you had a heart to do it though, because he knew that they weren't going to do it. He knew that they was going to corrupt themselves. Go ahead and read, because he knows his people. Go ahead and read.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And ye shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make a graven image, or the likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of the Lord thy God, to provoke him to anger.
See, that's what you're doing when you do this. You're provoking the Lord to anger. This is evil when men set up statues and images and idols and everything. This is evil. That's what the Lord said now. This is considered wickedness. And it's called idolatry. Go ahead and read though.
26. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto ye go over Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it.
Go ahead.
But shall utterly be destroyed. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen. Whether the Lord shall lead you.
That's because, you know, we only like 13% of this nation. And when you go to other nations too, you see Israel is a very small amount of people, relatively speaking. You know, people come over here from other countries outnumbered, although we've been here for 400 years, but people coming from other countries now, coming over here outnumbering us. Because we only like 12, 13% of the population. Because the Lord said, and the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen. That's what nations are, heathen. Go ahead and read.
28. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone.
Now, you know, the work of men's hands. Because that's what these gods, if you ain't dealing with the God of Israel, you're dealing with a God of somebody's figment of imagination or made with wood and stone. That's what you're dealing with. Ain't no ifs, ands, two, maybe this, That's what you're dealing with. And it's time out for all the foolishness and thinking, you know, that, look, God, the God of Israel, the one who created heaven and earth, that it's all right with him when he's steady telling you in his book, that's not all right with me, and I'm going to deal with you because of this.
Teach.
You know, let's be wise and not fools. There's only one God that created this heaven and earth. And when we say one God, we talking about the Father and the Son. That's what we're talking about. Go ahead and read though.
28. And there ye shall serve gods and the work of men's hands.
I tell you what, read that over. Read that again.
28. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell.
See, those other gods, they can't do nothing. Our God came down here, walked on the earth, preached to the poor, fed the hungry, raised the dead. He did all these things, didn't he?
Come on.
But they gods haven't done anything but stand up like that, like the Egyptian god. That's how you see him standing up like this. You go open up them tombs, he's been standing there for 2,000-3,000 years, still standing there. Our God is in heaven, aren't they? Still controlling this earth. After 6,000, almost 7,000 years, still controlling this earth, still controlling the moon, just holding the moon out there. Ain't nothing, you know, hanging on nothing, just hanging there. Stars, he just hang them there. What have these other gods done? That should tell us something right there about this God right here.
Hallelujah.
That should tell us something about this God right here. There's no other God besides this one. Go ahead and read though.
29. But if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord thy God, thou shalt find him.
Go ahead.
If thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul, when thou art in tribulation and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days.
Even in the latter days, you can seek this God even today.
Yes, sir.
Because he's from the beginning, ain't he?
Yes, sir.
And so now he been here from, we don't know when the beginning is, so he always been here, right?
Yes.
You can either seek this God and get in tune with him today. Today. But that's up to you though. It's up to you. Go ahead and read.
30. When thou art in tribulation and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to the Lord thy God, and shalt be obedient unto his voice.
Ooh, just think that simmer for a minute. If even in the latter, if you want to turn to this God, right, true and living God, right? He said what? Read that again.
When thou art in tribulation and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days,
go ahead.
If thou turn to the Lord thy God and shalt be obedient to his voice.
And be obedient to his voice. Go ahead and read.
For the Lord thy God is a merciful God. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he swore unto them.
Now he said, you know, this is a merciful God, right? If you be obedient to him, even today, in the latter days. This is really something, man. Look, written all the way back here in Deuteronomy. He's talking about the latter days. Let's go now. Let's go to Isaiah the 40th chapter, Isaiah 40. Isaiah 40, and we're going to pick up at verse 18. Isaiah 40 and 18. Isaiah 40 and 18. Everybody got it?
Amen.
Go ahead and read it.
To whom then will ye liken God? Or what likeness will ye compare to him? The workman made of a graven image, and the goldsmith spread it over with gold and cast a silver chain.
See, that's what these other gods had. You know, they have been put gold and made out of gold and silver and everything. This guy right here, still sitting in heaven all these years, thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. He's still sitting there.
Come on, brother.
You understand? He ain't made with man's hands. Go ahead and read, though. We're going to get down into this some. Go ahead and read, though.
He that is so impoverished that he have no oblation chosen.
I'm sorry, what verse you stopped at?
I'm on 20.
Go ahead and read. Yeah, go ahead.
He that is so impoverished that he have no oblation chooseth a tree that will not rot. He seeketh unto him a cunning workman to prepare a graven image.
Go ahead.
That shall not be moved.
Now he the one getting ready to make this now. Keep that in mind. Verse 21. Go ahead.
Have ye not known? Have ye not heard? Have it not been told you from the beginning? Have ye not understood from the foundations of the earth?
Skip down to read verse 22. Go ahead.
It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth.
Somebody should have read this some hundreds of years ago, right? Because man thought that the earth was flat when it's round, right? He said, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. Go ahead.
And inhabitants thereof are the grasshoppers, that stretches out the heavens as a curtain.
Go ahead.
And spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in.
Skip down to verse 25. Go ahead.
To whom will ye liken me? Or shall I be equal? Saith the Holy One.
He said, whom will you liken me to? Should I be equal to anybody? He said, I'm not equal to nobody. And he is not equal to none of these other false deities. Because like he said earlier, they got ears but they don't hear. They got eyes but they can't see. They can't do nothing. Let's go to Psalm the 96th chapter. Psalm 96. And we're going to pick it up at verse 2. Let me show you what these other gods, what they really are. Psalm 96 and 2. Go ahead and read it.
Sing unto the Lord. Bless his name. Show mercy. Show forth his salvation from day to day. Declares glory among the heathen. His wonders are among all people.
Go ahead.
For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods.
He is to be feared above all gods. And that's what man don't want to do. They don't want to fear this God right here, right?
Come on, bro.
They don't even fear the gods that they stand up and make and everything. They don't even fear them gods.
Come on.
Because they know them gods, they can't do nothing. So they don't fear, but yet they pray to them. But go ahead and read though.
For all the gods of the nations are idols.
But they are what?
Idols.
They are idols. They are idols. We're going to find out what are idols. Go ahead and read.
But the Lord made the heavens.
Skip down to verse 9. Go ahead.
All worship the Lord in beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth.
Fear before him all the earth. Skip down to verse 12. Go ahead.
Let the field be joyful and all that is therein. Then shall all the trees of the wood rejoice.
Then shall all the trees of the wood rejoice. Now I read this for a reason. But he said all those other gods are idols, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Let's show you what an idol is. We are going to Reveal Bible Dictionary. Reveal Bible Dictionary. And we're going to look up idols. What are idols?
Idol, idolatry. Any object one shapes or uses as an object of worship. All rites and practices associated with the worship of objects.
So now we're going to show you we're just going to show you a few idol gods right here. Come on, let her go ahead. Yeah. We're just going to show you not that one. No, that one right there. Right, that one. You got your hand on. Yeah. I'll loosen it. Okay, so now we're just going to show you some pictures here of some idol gods. She want to help out. Okay, so these are idol gods that we have right here. You know, we're not going to really call out none of the names, but this one right here, this is Buddha right there. I know that's Buddha. All these other gods right here, I don't know who they really are, but these are idols. These are Sumerian gods right here. Okay, but we know all these right here are idol gods. So when he said don't make no images and statues and everything, that's exactly what men have done. That's exactly what they have done. Okay, now, so let's go now. We're going to go now to Isaiah the 44th chapter. Isaiah 44, and we're going to pick it up at verse 8. Isaiah 44 and 8. So somebody wasn't listening, was they? Look at all the way we could have showed you. We don't have time to be showing you all these idol gods. We just want to show you. There's so many of them. I'm looking on just on the internet and some books. There's so many of them. Hey man, where do you start? Where do you start? Isaiah 44 and 8. Isaiah 44 and 8. But the Lord said, don't make no idols. He said, don't make no idols. Isaiah 44 and 8. Go ahead and read that.
Fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have not I told thee from that time, and have declared it?
Go ahead.
Ye are even my witnesses. Is there a God beside me?
He said, these are Jehovah's Witnesses right here. He said, you are even my witness. Is there any God beside me? Go ahead.
There is no God. I know not any.
He said, I don't know any. You ain't hear none of them stand up saying, well, I'm a God. You ain't hear none of them stand up say that, did you? He said, you know, if it was other gods, then they should be standing up saying something at this time, shouldn't they? Verse 9.
They that make a graven image are all of them vanity.
They are all vanity. Look how look how tough he talking. But you don't see no other gods saying nothing, do you? He said all these other gods, they are vanity. If they were other gods, they should stand up and say something, shouldn't they?
Yes, sir.
Or do something. Go ahead and read.
And their delectable things shall not profit. And they are their own witnesses.
Go ahead.
they see not, nor know that they may be ashamed.
He said they see not, nor that they don't know that they may be ashamed. Skip down to verse 13. Go ahead and read it.
The carpenter stretched out his rule.
Now he getting ready to make this God. Now he said the carpenter, he stretch out his rule.
He marked it out with a line. He fitted it with planes. And he marked it out with the compass.
Go ahead.
And making it after the figure of a man.
But didn't the Lord say don't make no similitude of a man or a woman?
Yes, sir.
Well, man have just totally ignore what God has said, haven't they? And they think that it's all right. When this man right here, he get ready to make this God. Go ahead, look what else he gonna do. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And making it after a figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it may remain in the house.
Go ahead.
He hewn him down cedars, and taketh the cypress, and oak, which he stretcheth forth himself among the trees of the forest. He planted as ash, and the rain doth nourish it.
Now he done planted this tree, right, as an ash, and now the rain is more nourishing it. So it's getting ready to grow now, right? Now remember, he planted this tree. Go ahead and read.
Then shall it be for a man to burn. For he will take thereof and warm himself.
He took that same tree, took part of it, and warmed himself. Go ahead and read.
Yea. He kindled it and baked bread.
Now he took part of this wood that he planted, the tree that he planted, took part of that wood, and he baked some bread with it. He warmed himself first, then he made some bread with it. He baked some bread. Go ahead and read.
Yea. He maketh a God.
He made a God. Wait a minute, you planted this tree, right? Then you took and made some, baked some bread, warmed yourself. Then you turn around and make it a God. Now, come on, man. That's kind of insane, ain't it? But this is what men have done, though. And then you got a lot of men that have made these statues and these guys, they pour gold over them and silver over them, just like that means something. Because they nice and shiny and ooh, that's expensive. But it's still an idol. You made it with your hands. Go ahead and read.
Yea. He maketh a God and worshipped it. He maketh it a graven image.
Go ahead.
And falleth down thereto.
Go ahead. Now, if you made it, then why would you be falling down to it? It can't do nothing for you if you made it.
Make that plain.
Now, our God, he made man, didn't he?
Hallelujah.
Ain't nothing we could do for him.
Come on.
He said, you know what, if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you. I own a cattle of 1,000 hills. So ain't nothing we can do for him, is it? We can't make him. We can't do nothing to repay him for even just giving us life. But now this man had made a God, warmed himself, baked him some food, baked him some bread, then turned around and worshipped it? That ain't no God. I wouldn't want to worship no God like that. If I made him, go ahead and read.
16. He burned a part thereof in the fire. With part thereof eat of flesh. He roasteth roast, and is satisfied.
Go ahead.
Yea, he warmeth himself, and saith, Aha, I am warm.
He said,
I have seen the fire.
I am warm.
I have seen the fire. And the residue thereof he maketh a God.
And the residue thereof, he did what?
Maketh a God.
He made it a God. Go ahead and read.
Even his graven image. He falleth down into it, and worshipped it, and prayed unto it, and saith.
Look at it. I mean, you read this, you understand, it's like, man, that's crazy for somebody to do something like that, right? But don't you know people are doing this?
Yes, sir.
Men have done it. That Christmas tree, men go out there and plant that tree, don't they? Then they turn around and do what? Put it in their house, put it on the stand, and then fall down and start worshiping it. Deck it out and all that stuff, you know. What verse you at?
Middle of 17.
Go ahead.
At the top. And the residue thereof he maketh a God, even his graven image. He falleth down unto it, and worshipped it, and prayed unto it, and saith, Deliver me, for thou art my God.
But how can, if that, what you made can deliver, you can deliver yourself then, can't you? If you made it. Verse 18.
They have not known nor understood, for he hath shut their eyes, that they cannot see.
Now this is what God has done to them now. Since you want to fall down and worship some tree, now I'm going to shut your eyes. Go ahead and read. That's why, you got men that don't understand what we be saying. We be reading plain English, not Hebrew, plain English to them.
Come on.
And they're like, they just don't get it, do they? Why? Because God has shut their eyes. Go ahead and read.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For he hath shut their eyes, that they cannot see, and their hearts, that they cannot understand.
Go ahead.
And none consider his heart.
Now, none considereth in his heart. They don't consider this. Don't consider what? Go ahead.
Neither is there knowledge nor understanding to say, I have burned part of it in the fire.
Go ahead.
Yea, also I have baked bread upon the coals thereof.
See, man ain't even smart enough to even consider this. He ain't even smart enough to just say this to himself. He can go out there, he can build a space shuttle. He can build the highest building in the world. But he ain't smart enough to say, you know what? He don't even consider his mind. Look, I made this God right here. He gonna fall down and start praying and worship to him and everything. This is how a foolish man is. Go ahead and read.
I have baked bread upon the coals thereof. I have roasted flesh and eaten it.
Go ahead.
And shall I make the residue thereof an abomination?
He said, I'm going to make the residue thereof an abomination. Because that's what these things are. They're an abomination to God. These are things that God hates.
Yes, sir.
That's what abomination is.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and finish that.
Shall I fall down to the stock of a tree?
Shall I fall down to the stock of a tree? They don't even ask, they don't even consider this. That is really something, man. Let's go look at this tree. Let's go look at this tree. Let's go to Jeremiah the 10th chapter. Jeremiah 10. Because like I said, you got men that's doing this even today. You got men doing this today. Jeremiah 10 and 1. Jeremiah 10 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Go ahead.
For the custom of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest. The work of the hands of a workman with the axe.
Go ahead. Now look, they doing this now. Like men do now, they go there and plant that tree, don't they?
Yes,
then, when the time is right and it has bloomed and it looks like a Christmas tree, then what they do, they go and chop it down, don't they? Go ahead. Still doing this today.
Know it.
Thousands of years later. Go ahead and read.
Yes, sir. Verse
Get that
4.
video ready.
Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree.
Go ahead.
But speak
now,
not.
Now look, he said they are upright as the palm tree. Upright as the palm tree. Go ahead and read.
But speak not. They must need be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
See, they can't do evil, neither can they do good. I wanted a picture of Baal, but we don't have it, I guess. So that's all right. But keep reading.
For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in might. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doth it appear, for as much as among...
What verse you at? Did you skip?
7.
All right, I tell you what. Go back to verse 5. Go back to verse 5.
They are upright as the palm tree, but speaketh not.
Don't go. Now, what is upright as a palm tree? Do you know, brother told me that this ain't talking about what we call today a Christmas tree? Now, the trees that they use for Christmas trees, don't they look like a palm tree?
Yes, sir.
Now, come on. Now, you don't want to see this. You don't see this because you don't want to see this. That's the only way you don't see this. He said they are upright as a palm tree. Go ahead.
But speak not. They must need be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is in them to do good.
See, they can't do good or evil. This is vanity. But yet man go every year and do the same thing. Been doing it for hundreds of years. Skip down to verse 8. Go ahead.
But they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanities.
The stock is a doctrine of vanities. You know what vanity means? That means it's nothing. It don't mean anything. Go ahead. I know people get mad and upset because we talk about Christmas and everything. But the problem is you get mad at us when you should be getting mad at Jeremiah. But then you can't get mad at him because he's in the grave. Get mad at God because God is the one who told him to write this. And he's still living.
Yes, sir.
He living though.
Yes, sir.
Get mad at him. Just because we read this every so-called Christmas. I'll just say that in the wintertime, in December. Go ahead, verse 8 again.
But they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanity.
Go ahead.
Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Euphas.
See, they're going to hook this thing up. They think to hook this tree up. We're going to put gold over this thing, so it's going to look real nice. Go ahead and read.
Yes, sir. And gold from Euphas. The work of the workman and of the hands of the founder.
See, men doing this. You understand? This is the whole point of this. Men are doing this. Go ahead and read.
Blue and purple is their clothing.
You don't care
They are
how.
all the work of cunning men.
I don't care how you want to try to dress it up and make it look all good and everything, just like the Christmas tree when they have it every year. They got all the glitter and bulbs, and they come out with new things to put on every year. Looks so pretty. But it's still the work of man's hands. They still idols, right? And the idols are what? An abomination unto God.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to set this abomination up in your house. Just like God, we're going to put Christ back in Christ. He's the one telling you not to do it. Who do you think talking to Jeremiah? Jehovah, which came down as Christ. Go ahead and read though. What verse you at?
10. But the Lord is the true God. He is the living God.
Go ahead.
And an everlasting King. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation.
Go ahead.
Thus shall ye say unto them, the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth.
Ooh, you see him stand up saying, no, we're not. No, I'm not. You don't see him stand up saying that, do you? Silence. Silence. Why? Because those gods be no gods. Go ahead and read.
And from under these heavens.
Skip down to verse 14. Skip down to verse 14. Go ahead.
Every man is brutish in his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is falsehood.
Go ahead.
And there is no breath in them.
His molten images are what?
Falsehood.
Falsehood, and there's no breath in them. My God is still up there breathing, ain't he?
Yes, sir.
Both of them.
Hallelujah.
Go ahead and read.
They are vanity in the work of errors. In the time of their visitation they shall perish.
Ooh, Lord said, you know what? I'm going to take care of them. Just let them go ahead. I'm going to let them live for a little while, but I'm going to take care of them. I'm gonna let the Egyptian god that's standing up, Horus, stand up there with the statue and a jackal head. I'm going to let them live for some thousands of years, then I'm going to take care of them. That Christmas tree that you got in your house that's coming up in December, you know what? Lord said, I'm going to take care of that too. Because you ain't going to see no more of this when the Lord returns. You ain't going to see none of this no more. It's going to be one God and his name one. Let's go to 2 Kings, the 10th chapter. 2 Kings, the 10th chapter. Because look at what Jehu get ready to do to this Baal. Look at what he get ready to do to him. We're at 2 Kings 10, and we're going to pick it up at verse 18. Now, if you know Baal was so tough, and he was a living God, then how did he let a man destroy him? How did he let a man destroy him? That's what I'm saying. You know, these guys, you know, I see Buddha, I can go kick Buddha like a football. He ain't going to do nothing. but break up. And that's it. 2 Kings, the 10th chapter, and we're going to pick it up in verse 18. 2 Kings 10 and 18. Go ahead and read it.
And Jehu gathered all the people together and said unto them, Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu shall serve him much.
Go ahead.
Now therefore call unto me all the prophets of Baal, and his servants, and all his priests. Let none be wanting. For I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal.
Go ahead.
Whosoever shall be wanting, he shall not live.
Now he said, now therefore call unto all the prophets of Baal, all his servants. Go ahead and read.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And his priests. And his priests. Go ahead. Now look at this.
Let none be wanting, for I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal.
He said, I got a great sacrifice to do to Baal. I'm going to do it to his people and his priests. Now this is a man saying this now. Go ahead and read.
Whosoever shall be wanting, he shall not live. But Jehu did it in subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the worshipers of Baal.
Now he doing this, he gathered all the people together and the priests. He doing this to destroy the worshipers of Baal. Now look, now you got all these people now, and the priests, Baal should have at least warned the priest. He ain't even warned them. Go ahead and read.
But Jehu did it in subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the worshippers of Baal.
Go ahead.
And Jehu said, proclaim a solemn assembly for Baal, and they proclaimed it. And Jehu sent through all Israel, and all the worshippers of Baal came, so that there was not a man left that came not.
So all of them came that worship Baal. All of them came. Go ahead and read.
And they came into the house of Baal, and the house of Baal was full from one end to another.
Go ahead.
And he said unto him that was over the vestry,